Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, or should I say Testimony Tuesday. I just want to come on and share a quick story time with you. I just want to tell people, the goodness of God. God has really, really been good to me. I want to talk about the time when my car got repoed. This happened it's been a little while when it happened, but nevertheless, I was living in Atlanta. And I decided to move back to Florida so I can get my kids to be closer to their father. Plus, I was leaving an abusive relationship. My ex-boyfriend who I was living with, I put my car in the shop. He was a mechanic, okay? I don't know why mechanics are, attracted to me, but the mechanics love me and I love the mechanics, okay? But anyway, my ex-boyfriend, he was repairing my car. I had a BMW 750. I also had a Jeep Cherokee. But it's kind of crazy that, with two vehicles, neither one of them was running. Okay, when we have to be we have to pay close attention to the people who come in our lives, because sometimes when people reach out talking about helping you, they really, are like demons in disguise. They really are going to hurt you, okay? So anyway, I remember leaving Georgia and driving back down to Florida. I had to end up renting a car to escape. I was like, you know what, brother? We're not going to keep going through this, and you have to move in silence, lady. I always tell women, if you're going to leave a situation, you move in silence. You don't say anything. Don't make anybody aware. Just pack up and leave and jump state. So anyway, I left Georgia, end up moving to Florida, getting to Florida, allowing my children to reconnect with their father. I was like, you know what? My kids need their dad in their life. They're at the age where, he can really talk to them and, help me out with the kids. So I get back to Florida. Boom. My ex-husband thought that, we was going to rekindle our relationship. And I'm like, nope, not going there. My mind is focused on, making sure that I establish myself again. So, he kept trying to make passes at me, honey. I said, you know what? I can't be living in this man's house. So I moved out and moved with my godmother. End up moving with my godmother, transferred my job from Georgia, decided that everything was going to go smooth, everything was going to go good. I'm leaving out a lot of details, but I'm trying to get to the point. Bear with me. Moved with my godmother. My godmother, I didn't know at the time, but she went to the post office and had the people to stop sending my mail to her house, right? I didn't know any of this until after, I end up moving from her house. So anyway, I'm in the Palm Beach area. I'm going to work, coming back. My car payment would get automatically taken out of my account. However, because of the fees, every time, they would do like a return check fee, those fees was adding up and I could not understand. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I go to the bank and I'm saying, hey, you're not paying my car note. And they was like, because you need to update the address on file. And I was like, well, here is my license. This is the address where I live. Please update it now. And they kept telling me every time they sent mail, the mail kept being returned. So me being frustrated, I was talking to a friend who was living down in Miami at the time. And they was like, you know what, come on and just, come down here. I was like, yeah, I need a break. I don't know what's going on. Something crazy is taking place. Right now, my focus was only going to work, coming home, trying to take care of my children, going to work, coming home, taking care of my children, not thinking that, the people who say that they was helping me but was really hurting me, I didn't know that they didn't have my best interests at heart, okay? I'm thinking I was taking them at face value because, I know work with these people, for a while. I've been a blessing to them so many different times. So I never would have thought in 1,000 years that this, particular person would cross me the way that she did. Anyway, so I get to Miami. I'm living in Miami and I'm like, I gotta work. I'm in a place now where I could work and, keep my car note, catch up the car note, whatever. So I was so far behind, honey, I didn't know what I was going to do. I transferred my job closer to where I was at, moved from my godmother's house, got there. My friend was like, you know what? They was like, you want to find out what was really going on with your mail? I was like, yeah. They was like, all right, let's do this. Call up your godmother and let her know that you're going to send her a gift card from your job. And I was like, okay, cool. And they was like, but put your name on it and send it to her address. I said, okay. So, I was still talking to my godmother. I wasn't letting her know like I was upset with her because I didn't know at the time what she was doing. So anyway, I end up sending some mail to her house, and I put it in my name, but my return address was the one that was in Miami, right? So I'm talking to her. I was like, yeah, Mom, be looking for a gift card. It's coming to you, XYXY, right? She called me a week later. She was like, hey, Yamara, I haven't seen that gift card, baby. Are you sure you sent it? I was like, yeah, I did. But what happened was, because I put my name on it and the return address to where I was, it came back to me. So I said, oh. Finally, a couple days passed. She called me and I was like, you know what happened? I said, the mail that I sent to your house, it came back to me. I said, that's why you didn't get it. And she was like, oh, baby, I had a new mailman. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to tell my mailman to make sure that anything with your name on it, make sure that I get it. She said, maybe the new mailman had it all mixed up. Well, I found out that my godmother was denying any mail with my name on it, which caused me to go like in debt. Every time, I would write a check, that check was bounced, and then I would get a fee, and I'm calling the bank trying to get them to reverse fees and everything. I couldn't take it. So when I realized, what she was doing, I just cut her off. I never said anything. A lot of people got mad at me because she passed, RIP. She's on the other side listening to my conversation right now. But she ended up passing. And when she did, I never attended her funeral. Number one, I didn't know when they had it. And two, I learned after the fact that, they had laid her to rest, and I just never showed up. And I forgive her and all. I never hold any grudges in my heart, but she really put me in a bad situation, because had she would have never told me to come to Florida, I would have stayed my behind somewhere. I probably would have went to North Carolina. I would have went to some other type of state other than Florida. But I decided that, hey, I have my children, dad there, my ex-husband, my godmother is there. I built a relationship with these people. Let me go back to Florida and let me rebuild my life. So in the process, I'm trying to make sure that I work and save and, get up the money to get my car note and everything paid up. But the people had put a repo notice out. And on that repo notice, I would go to work and come home. That's all I was doing. Going to work, come home. I felt like, hey, they don't know where I am. And I had my friend that checked and make sure they didn't have a tracker on the car. So I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm good. So my daughter, when I would go to work and give her the car, be like, listen, you know what to do. Go in, back it in, hide it, lock it down, do whatever you're supposed to do, but make sure nobody is, driving around trying to pick up our car. So nevertheless, one day, she decided to go out, left the car with me, had just brought it up to my job. I was getting off, and I said, you know what? I need to go get some toiletries and everything for the house. So let me go inside the Walmart, which was across the street from my job. And I said, let me go in and pick up a couple items. Parked the car, went inside Walmart, wasn't in there long. Grabbed a couple items, came right on out, and boom! The car was gone. I was like, oh my God, I could feel my heart fall. It just dropped all the way to my asshole. I'm not going to lie. And I remember looking, saying, God, what am I going to do? Just when, I thought I was building, just when I thought that, you know what, I'm saving up. I'm going to come out of this. Every time I'm thinking I'm about to win, I'm losing. God help. And I remember running to the spot like a crazy woman. I run over to the spot and I'm like, I know I parked the car here. And I'm just like looking all around, shaking my head, pick up the phone, call my daughter, was like, listen, tell your friend, come over here, pick me up because, the people just got my car. And she was like, dang, Mom, for real? Oh, man, we'll be there, right? So just as I get ready to walk back towards the Walmart, the repo man, pull around with my car on the bed. He stopped and I said, oh my God, usually they take your car and they keep moving. So I was like, sir, he got out the car and he walked towards me. And I said to him, I said, can I just get my things out the car? I said, you could take it. I understand, this is your job. He said, ma'am, I'm going to ask you a question. He said, they've been looking for this car, for about a month and it's been hard. He said, but I watch you. He said, for 3 days, I watch you. Now, at the time, I'm going through a lot. I'm not thinking like, is this man crazy? Like, PI, like what is really going on? But at the time, I just listened to what he had to say. And he said to me, he said, I'll watch you. He said, I'll watch you go home. He said, you go to work and you go to work and you go back home. He said, that's all you do. He said, and then once you get home, this is what you do to the car. He said, and I noticed that it's just, you and your daughter. And I was like, yeah. He said, my heart can't allow me to take this car from you. And I say, what? So now I'm looking at him, right? I'm like, what? What? I say, okay. He said, I'm on the phone with my boss right now. And I told my boss that I feel like I cannot take this car from you. And he told me to do whatever I feel. He said, ma'am, I'm only making X amount of dollars. He told me how much he was making to take the car back, to take it away from me. And I remember saying, okay, he said, but it doesn't matter because I cannot see. And he told me like how his mom was a single mom and how she struggled and that, he have a heart for single mothers. And I was like, okay. He said, what I'm going to do for you today is give you the keys. He said, you already had the keys. He said, I'm going to take this car down off the bed and I'm going to give you back this car. And he said, let me educate you on what to do and how not to get your car repoed. And I was like, okay. The man gave me back my car. When I tell you that God is good, that's what God and my ancestors did for me, baby. They was looking out for me because they knew that I was in a place where I didn't have no friends because I had just started. I didn't know anybody who was around there. So I only knew one person who invited me to go to Miami, but they was in and out of town. They was nowhere really around. So I really didn't have anybody. But let me tell you, baby, God stepped in. Yes, wow, won't he do it? God stepped in and showed me his power, showed me how miracles still do take place, okay? I began to just give God praise and say, God, I thank you. I couldn't do nothing but cry, tears coming down my eyes. And he said, ma'am, you go ahead and you be blessed. And this was a white guy at that. And he pulled that car back down. I was able to get my car. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I want to let you know that God is always in control. God have the last say so. And I know a lot of people who follow me, back from way back when. I want to let you know that, no, I do not believe in Jesus. And if this, my little testimony disappoints you because I don't believe in Jesus, I'm here to tell you that I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But one thing that I can tell you is that God is a healer and a way maker. I may not believe in Jesus, but I believe in God Almighty because God will always come through. And this is what I used to tell people. God will show up in the last hour, at the last minute, in the last second. God will always show up for you. All you have to do is just stand in prayer and talk to God. I'm a firm believer that, without God, we are nobody. I'll